Hey everyone, welcome in. Let's get the stream going. So, we're going to be taking an exclusive first look at Warlock in the game today. So, this is on a test server, hence my character name being Demo Warlock and not Ricia. So, we're going to be trying this out today. I will be honest, I have played this for all of about 30-40 minutes since I've had access to the test server. I have just not had enough time because obviously life gets in the way of these things sometimes. So we're going to be testing this out today. My friend GZ has sent me a couple of builds to try out, so we're going to put this together. We're going to put this together. That's what I'm trying to say. So we're going to put the builds together and try them out. If you guys have any ideas for builds, or if you have any skills and essences you want to see in action, let me know. I am going to show you all of the skills before we start off, and so you can see exactly what each skill does. So this is Warlock. I did change it to a female Warlock. It was set up as a male Warlock, but obviously I had to change it to a Q female. And this is standard with Warlock. So let's have a look at the skills. So obviously we've seen this in the patch notes already. So with Warlock you have a Soul Gorger, who is this little demon pet here. Look at him, he's so cute. So yeah, all the Warlocks have that as standard. You have the Soul Gorger as part of the Warlock. I believe you can remove it, so you can deactivate it if you don't want to use that. However, there are lots of builds and essences and skills around the Soul Gorger, so it is kind of worth using that. And it's an extra buddy to have around with you, so you don't ever get lonely. So yeah, let's have a look at all the skills. We'll test these out. Actually, before I do that, let's remove all my gear. Now I am 8k resonance. That is because this is obviously a test server. Salvage all this stuff. So yeah, because this is a test server, I will mention that some numbers will be subject to change. So the other essences, when we look into those, some of those will be subject to change. They will be slightly different numbers potentially, and there is the potential that there will be bugs when we're trying things out as well. So obviously some things will be slightly different, as this is a first look at this, and it is obviously before it goes live, and obviously this is also on a test server and not on the actual Diablo Immortal server. So yeah, there may be a few things that are slightly different. So we'll remove all of the gear, and then we'll go, then we'll actually test everything out, test all the skills, and then I've got a couple of builds, as I said, from GZ that we can test out as well. I've not yet had a chance to put anything together. I did kind of have a couple of ideas, so I do have a couple of ideas for builds that could be quite good, but I'd be interested to see what other people think of and come up with also. Obviously Warlock, when you see it in a moment, when I actually show you Warlock, it is very different to any class in game. A lot of people were kind of surmising that it was going to be very similar to like Wizard and Necro combined. I would say that Warlock isn't like any class in Diablo Immortal at all in actuality. It's not like any of the classes. So it is completely unique, and it does seem a lot of fun to play from what I've tried so far. So this is the Warlock as well. So I removed all the cosmetics that were on Warlock. This is what the base Warlock looks like. Female Warlock, I did actually customize it at the not blacksmith, at the barber. So I did change her slightly to look very slightly different to obviously what standard Warlock does look like. I'm trying to zoom in, but it's not that easy on this. Here we go. So, oh my gosh, let me try doing this. So yeah, this is Warlock. She's got her septum pierced. She's got obviously all of these like markings as well. Super badass looking. Let me remove the wings so you can see everything a little better. Ain't nobody need those wings. Let's remove these. So just wanted to show you what she actually looks like. Oh gosh, now let's try and zoom in again. Bear with me, guys. It's going to take a moment. So yeah, I styled my hair based on the Warlock today, but I did not do a very good job. So yeah, this is Warlock. She looks super, super badass. I mean, there's no other class that looks like this, is there, at the end of the day? She just looks incredible. Absolutely love it. Let's zoom out. So yeah, let's look at some of the skills, as I said. We could also look at customization. I don't know if it's going to let me because it wasn't happening.
Looking for a new face? You've come to the right place.
Okay, I couldn't go to character customization the other day, so I just want to show you if it's going to let me. I was going to try and show you the other options, but we can maybe look at that later in the video. I can look at creating another Warlock just to show you the character customization and the options available for this. But let's just delve straight into the skills. Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Hey Lana, I know, it's so awesome. So that's the Soul Gorger. So he's basically this demon that follows your character around, and he has his own set of skills as well. Hey Chaos, welcome in. Is the game volume really loud? I'm sorry. Hopefully this is going to be better. Tell me if that sounds better, please. Don't need voice chat on anyway. That should be better now, guys. Sorry if you cannot hear me. I hope you can hear better now. What is that skin? It's not even... So, Lana, this is literally the base Warlock. This isn't even a cosmetic on her. This is literally just... This is just the Warlock, how she looks standard without any equipment or anything. Honestly, if they made a cosmetic like that, I would 100% purchase it. It just looks incredible. But yeah. So let's have a look at the skills. And I'll show you what each of these looks like. So I'll look at the skills that we've got equipped first. So let's see if it's going to let me. So Infernal Eruption continuously sprays flames at a target location, dealing damage, charging longer, concentrates the range of your flame thrower. So yeah, you can move where you want to place this. And obviously there's quite a wide area. So let's just place it here. So that's one of the skills. Then we've got these chains, which are awesome. Again, you can place this if you want to. Hopefully it'll come up with the description. May not. I may have to go into the actual skills to bring that up again. Like I said, sometimes with these test servers it has a little bit of bugs, but let me just show you what it looks like. There's that. Then we have this skill. Now this is very different. Demonic Portal. This opens a demon gate and you get to choose a demon to summon. So let's show you this. So you walk around like this and you can see the different skills and you can just choose one. So go for that one first. And then let's do this again. We'll go for that one next. So you've got 3 demons there. And those are more like a proper summon, so they will follow you around for a moment until obviously their bar disappears. And then let's try one more. This is the 3rd one. So yeah, those you can target at a location. And then the last skill that I have equipped is Warp Strike. So command the primordial demon to leap from a target location, damaging and knocking enemies into the air. So this is for the Soul Gorger. So you can basically get him to go wherever you want to. So if we get him to go over here, he just appears over there. And obviously if there's a target to attack, he will do that as well. Hey, nice surprise stream. I did announce it, but you know what? People never see my posts on YouTube. So yeah, it's a little bit. I'm really glad the sound is better. Sorry, yeah, sorry, I didn't realise that I hadn't already turned all of the volumes down. I can turn up the noise for the skills. Let me just change that for you so you can hear it a little bit better. So master volume we've got right down. Sound will turn up very slightly. I'll do it to like 30%. Let me know if it's too loud now that I've done that. Okay. So let's look at the other skills and we'll equip some of these as well. Oh, I forgot to show you primary attacks. So there's 2 primary attacks. The one that I have equipped currently, I think it's going to just throw it out straight away. Look at these. These little demons just run out. That is one of the primary attacks. I'm not even shitting you. Like, how incredible is that? I love it. Okay. So let's look at the other skills that are available on Warlock. So obviously we've seen Soul Gorger. Let's look at the other primary attack. Let's equip this one. So we're going to equip that there. So this is the other primary attack. The effects and the colour on Warlock, I really, really like that they've done something totally different to all the other classes. It does make it stand out a lot, because obviously that could look quite similar to Necromancer, but because of the colours they've gone for, it looks totally different. I love that it's like super unique. So yeah, that is the other primary attack. I'm just going to go through all the skills really basic first so that you can just see what they look like. So let's read through. Obviously, Soul Gorger. Summon a primordial demon to fight by your side that is immune to total loss of control and knockback effects. The Soul Gorger's primary attacks deal 18,343 to 28,124 damage and can unleash these additional attacks. Pummeling Eruption lasts 6 seconds. Slam the ground with extreme force, causing it to fracture. Enemies within the area are stunned for 1 second and take 13,757 damage. Then after a short delay, the ground erupts with Hellfire, dealing 16,815 damage to enemies. Voracious Sacrifice, cooldown 12 seconds. When your life drops below 50%, your Soul Gorger sacrifices 10% of its current life to restore 35,127 life to you. So with Warlock, it has a lot of survivability, as well as having a lot of these, obviously the summons, and this slightly more elemental. It's very like fire based. So it has that alongside it, the survivability with life and everything. Devour. Your Soul Gorger devours some of your other demons when they die, causing it to evolve and gain additional powers corresponding to the devoured demon. Up to 2 Devour effects can be active at once. So, for example, if you are using the Demon Portal and your Soul Gorger, if one of those dies, your Soul Gorger potentially could then eat that demon and then have the same effect that that demon has as well. So that's, that's how the Soul Gorger works. Obviously, Hellfire Bolt, let's look at this. Throw a bolt of Hellfire that deals 12,283 damage to enemies it strikes. You can move and attack at the same time, but your movement speed is reduced. Ferocious Leap, click and drag off the primary attack skill to command your Soul Gorger to leap to its target. So this should be quite easy. I'm hoping it should be easy to play on mobile for people that do play on mobile. It's nice to see the size of the demon is decent. And what are the 2 stances you can switch between? So the 2 stances, let me just show you that before we go any further. I don't know if it's gonna. So you've got command stance inactive, obviously because I've not got anything equipped. Upon activation, you and your summons attack speeds are increased by 20% for 3 seconds. After the initial duration ends, the increase is reduced to 10%. And then the other one is restraint stance. Upon activation, all nearby enemies are stunned for 3 seconds. Your primary attack now reduces movement speed of enemies they hit by 40%. Player movement speed is reduced by 20%. So that's obviously strived slightly for in PvP. But those are the 2 stances that are available. So yeah, command and restraint. So let's head into the other skills. Obviously I've got red dots everywhere on here, just ignore the red dots. So yes, we were looking at this one. So yeah, I won't read through everything because obviously all of this was in the patch notes on Friday, but I just want to show you what each of the skills looks like. So far we've looked at Hellfire Bolt, Lunatic Rush. Let's equip Blood Offering instead of this one, and we'll equip Brimstone Gateway. I have already made a video for all of the skills and essences, so I'm going to pop that up later today hopefully, and then you can refer to that. And instead on this video, I think, or on this live, we'll test the skills out. So let's look at these next ones. So this one is Demonic Pact. Summons demonic minions to aid you and nearby allies in battle, and if their master's health drops too low, the minion will sacrifice itself to restore health for their master. So again, this one would be potentially pretty good in PvP. I guess it just makes you use primary attack as well, but that could just be a little bit of a bug. Let's see what happens when the cooldown ends. Okay, there we go. Then this next one. Now this one is pretty cool. Burning Ascent. Summon a demon that flies forward, damaging enemies in its path and increasing movement speed. So you can basically, again, you can aim where you want to go with this. And watch this. So a demon just like drags you along. And that has 2 charges. I think there is potentially 1 essence that will give you 1 more charge on this, but I may be wrong. Let's go over here. So that's what that skill looks like. Then this one I haven't actually tested yet. So Brimstone Gateway. Open a portal at the current location and target location to teleport you instantly. And it can be used again while the portal is active. So you can basically, again, choose the location where you want to teleport to. This is the range, so it's got quite a nice range. Probably similar to Wizard Teleport. Potentially slightly further than Wizard Teleport. So let's do that. And then you can actually go back through the portal. It does have a cooldown. So you can keep going through these portals. You can obviously see where the countdown is on that. So that does last a little while. And you can see once the cooldown has kind of finished on it, you actually have a charge of it again. So the portal pretty much stays open the whole time, but you are limited on how quickly you can use it. You can see the cooldown again there. I don't think we'll get to go back through it again there before it cools, like the cooldown's done. So that one, again, potentially really good for PvP, and I believe that your allies can also use that. So that one would be really good. Sorry, I'm just going to check the chat again. Okay, right, I've checked the chat. Okay, so this next skill is Blood Offering. Switch skills on and off. When turned on, all demons will continuously launch blood explosions that attack nearby enemies and corrupt the enemies they hit. So you can see we've also got another demo Warlock on the screen. I'm not sure who that is. So let's press this one. So that's what that looks like. And you can see the Soul Gorger as well is affected. So those are those 4 skills. And again, to go out of it, just press the button again to end that. Now this is the skills without any essences at all. So this is just the base skills and how they are working. Because obviously you don't have to necessarily use essences on every single skill when you're putting a build together. So Demonic Portal we've already looked at. Devouring Darkness, let's equip this. Hellswarm, let's equip this. Infernal Eruption and Lash of Pain you've seen. Siphon Life, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show you that one because obviously we're not against any enemies. Okay, so we've got 4 different skills equipped here now. Hey, Happy Bear, welcome in. Yeah, all good. We are checking out Warlock today. You love the design already. You're not into summon playstyles, but you hope there are alternative builds to the class. You don't have to use summons. Obviously, you don't have to use all the summons. You don't have to use the portal and stuff like that. You could potentially go for something that is literally just damage based. So, next skill. Spiteful Sacrifice. Grant yourself the power of shadows, causing your primary attack to fire shadow arrows that track and explode to damage nearby enemies. Let's try this, and then when you use your primary attack, it changes it to that. But you see it's using your life. There we go. So the next one. Oh, also, this little line here, this is because Warlock has sacrificial power. So any skills that you have equipped with sacrificial power, that will come up, and it's just so that you know exactly, obviously, what's happening with the sacrificial power while you're playing on the class. So next skill, so you can see we've got Siphon Life. Choose to cast it on your own or as a primal demon. Draining life from one team provides a powerful buff to the other. So yeah, you can drain life from yourself, or you can give life to your Soul Gorger, I believe, is how that works. Then we have this one. It's going to come up. It's not going to come up again. But anyway, this is what it looks like. And lastly, again, sacrificial power is in use here. Devouring Darkness creates a constriction of space at a target location that pulls in enemies, followed by a series of shadow blasts. Charge up to increase the number of blasts. So again, this is for CC, which is probably why there's loads of the anti-CC essences that have been changed in the game. So that's what that looks like. It's a pretty cool animation on that as well. And again, yeah, looking at like this one with the sacrificial power, just so that you can see. It's not coming up now. Not sure why that's not working now, but yeah, as I said, it is buggy sometimes because this is on a test server. So that's those skills. Let me just I think it's Hellswarm, the skill that wasn't working, so let me just read through this quickly. Unleash a swarm of Hellspawn that deals 24,566 damage to enemies in their path, that also embeds an infernal plague within them, dealing 1,535 damage per second for 5 seconds. Infected enemies that are slain hatch a plagued Thorn Strider for 9 seconds that attacks enemies, dealing 6,141 damage and inflicting the same plague with each attack. You can control up to 3 plagued Thorn Striders at one time, and any additional hatchlings are consumed by your Soul Gorger, healing it for 20,727 life. So that is the Hellswarm one. Hey, welcome in. Why do I look so stressed out? Do I look stressed out? Probably because I'm concentrating. No enemies, just the HG race to unlock. Thank you for the donation, Yogi. Thank you so much. You personally prefer Wizard to the Warlock. This ain't going to be your class. They obviously got something out of Elden Ring. I'm definitely swapping. I hope the cross-class cosmetics are enabled for all the previously launched cosmetic classes, including the Warlock. You think I should give Blood Knight a try? What does the bar actually do to skills? Because the user interface around the skills is different for some reason when the bar is full. It might just be because I'm doing this on the demo. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes there's things visually on these demo builds that aren't going to be the same as when it's actually in game. Right, so the last two to try, or the last one to try, is Tyrant's Grasp. Everything else we've tested out. So let's just equip that here. And I've got a couple of builds that GZ has sent me, so we'll put those together and test them on this character after we've done all this as well. So this is another one that you can place. So most of the skills have a similar sort of radius to them. Place this here, and it's basically like this massive hand that will grab enemies. So yeah, there are different essences for that, so you can change it quite a bit. So grab enemies with a massive demonic hand from the portal, then slam them down to deal damage to all nearby enemies. So not only will you damage that enemy that has been grabbed, you will also damage other enemies in its path. So I mean, again, that one could potentially be really nice in PvP. So I'm going to just look on my phone to get... I think what you can do is try using the Disintegration Fire skill on the Wizard. Has Wizard succeeded in making Warlock its own, or does it resemble any other class too much? I used to play Wizard Fire build, like Wizard Disintegrate build, but I find it kind of boring because I've done that for so many years. Like I used to use Fire Disintegrate all the time on Wizard. So let's equip all of these. Also, you'll see her appearance change slightly, obviously, because I've got the cosmetic hidden, so you can basically see the Warlock in the actual gear rather than oh, I don't want to transfer. Hang on, let's remove that one. Obviously found that one at some point. And now you can see the stances are active as well. Don't know when I found that legendary item. Okay. So yeah, that's what the Warlock looks like now with this equipment on. So slightly different look. Still really, really awesome. I really like the aesthetic of this class. And I mean, the fact that you can put the gear on and straight away it looks like a really awesome cosmetic to me is huge, because obviously with a lot of the other classes you put on the gear and it looks kind of lame or like really mismatched. So yeah, I think Warlock looks really nice. Okay, so I need to look at the skills and everything as well. So I've got two builds that GZ sent over for me to try. Now the first build is a PVE one, and then the second one is like a speed build. Now I don't know how speedy I'm going to be with using it, because obviously this is like new to me. This is the first time I've really had a chance to actually sit down and play Warlock, which is why I thought that this would be a lot of fun to try together. So yeah. Hey someone, welcome in. Yeah, so I thought we'd put the build together on the live stream and test it out and see what it looks like. So let's grab the skills that we need first. So for this build that GZ sent, this is the normal PvE build. We're going to be using the Hellfire Bolt, which we've got. We need the Eruptions. That one we've got Tyrant's Grasp. We need the Demonic Pact. And lastly, we need a Lash of Pain. Might just swap some of these around a little bit. Happier with it like that. Okay. So let's look at the essences. So we'll find what essences we're using here. And then I will check the chat again, because I can't check it right now. Right, so on the helm, we need to use this one. Ridicule the Flames, which I've already got equipped, I believe. Yeah, that one we've got equipped. Then we need Ashes of Liberty on the chest, so let's grab that one. Now, I've said before, I'm not the best person with builds, which is why I asked GZ if I could share his builds on this. And then obviously, if you guys have any builds that you've put together or thought of after reading the patch notes last week, if you've got any ideas, let me know, and we can also test those out on this stream. I'm going to be streaming until 5 PM server time, so another hour and a half roughly. So shoulders, we need Brutal Lessons. Let's inherit that. And we'll read through all of these essences once we put it together. See exactly what we're doing with this. Pants are supply and demand. So when we get these test builds, when we get access to this, it never has like builds put together. It doesn't ever have like a base build put together or anything like that. So it's always good when you have a friend that knows what they're doing. That knows what they're doing is really good with these builds. So hang on, I'm just checking that. Right, that one I've already got equipped. So we need Torment Anew. The other one. Now GZ did really well on the Challenge Rift with one of these builds as well. So that's why I figured we'd test it out, and we'll teleport to one of the zones to try it out, and then we'll test it maybe in like I don't know if all the dungeons work or anything on the test build, but we'll try it somewhere. So we need Jawless Grin, we've already got, and then we need Shorn Hollow. So let's find that one. Okay. So let's read through these. So Ridicule the Flames. Soul Gorger deals 38% increased damage to burning enemies. Soul Gorger damage is increased by 10%. Now, the increased damage to burning enemies is pretty easy to get, considering how many of the skills with Warlock kind of have that fire to them. And obviously, if you're also using any gems, any legendary gems that causes fire, that will also help with that. Ashes of Liberty. Infernal Eruption now conjures a ritual of flames around you that increases in intensity with your movement speed, dealing damage to enemies within the area and burns them. Infernal Eruption damage is increased 18% and an additional 10% from the Awakened slot. Now, obviously, these numbers are the ones that I mentioned may change slightly, which is the reason why when they released all the essences the other week, last week, why they don't always have the percentages and things like that. So next up, on the shoulder, Brutal Lessons. Infernal Torment replaces your primary attack with a swing of chains that damages and burns enemies in front of you and knocks back enemies. Lash of Pain damage is increased by 18% and an additional 10% for the Awakened slot. Then Pants, Supply and Demand. Destruction's Claw conjures demonic claws from behind your back, causing each of your primary attacks to unleash claw strikes that damage enemies in front of you. Tyrant's Grasp damage is increased by 18%. Torment anew. Hellfire Bolt also burns enemies, dealing 9,432 per second for X seconds. This is what I mean. Sometimes there are numbers missing in the test builds. Stacking up to 3 times. Damage is increased by 90%. Hellfire Bolt damage is increased by 10%. Then the first, what's it called? Offhand, we've got Infernal Eruptions. Jewelry Screen, Infernal Eruptions deals 38% increased damage to burning enemies. Infernal Eruption damage is increased by 10%. So you've got that increasing damage to burning enemies, and also your Soul Gorger is increasing damage to burning enemies. When inflicted, this is Blood Fray, the second main hand. When inflicted, continuous damage to an enemy, or when inflicting continuous damage to an enemy. Inflicted Torture increases your attack speed for 4 seconds, up to 5 stacks can be stacked. So, sorry, when inflicted. So when you're inflicted continuous damage to an enemy, inflicts torture, increased your attack speed for 4 seconds, up to 5 stacks. Lash of Pain increased by 10%. And lastly, Shorn Hollow. Demonic Pact now sacrifices a portion of your life to grant yourself and your summons increased damage and movement speed, but you also take increased damage. Should any of you die, your death will be briefly delayed. Demonic Pact cooldown is reduced by 7.2%. Demonic Pact cooldown reduced by 10% from the Awakened slot. So that is the first build we're going to test out. So let's just have a look at what these skills actually look like. So that is the first one. Flash of Pain now looks, I just used it too quickly. Infernal Eruption now looks like this. So this is similar to obviously what some of the Druid builds kind of look like visually, and also to some of the older Wizard builds or Wizard skills. And then this is the arm. So then when you use your primary attack, it's basically these giant arms. And I think with Lash of Pain it's the same thing. So this is what Lash of Pain does. Primary attack, and you can kind of jump forward with that as well. So this looks pretty cool. Let's teleport to a location to try. I'm just going to check the chat before we go ahead and do that, just because I want to make sure that I'm not ignoring anyone. If I haven't replied, I'm not ignoring anyone potentially. This is a PTR version of PC only. I'm playing this on computer. I'll replace the Hellbolt main hand with Soul Gorger, which you have previously equipped. Oh, Nabil, I've just missed which one you said. Which one did I already have equipped? Hang on. So, which one? Replace the first main hand with Cavalier Cutter. So Torment anew, replace with Cavalier Cutter, which is what I had originally. Let's find that. Past it. That one. There we go. So we'll go for this instead. So this is a PVE one that GZ has done for Warlock. So I don't know, I don't think I can really show you the cosmetics because I only have one cosmetic and it's the Phantom Market one. I don't have any other cosmetics on this character. I just have the Resonance Armor. None of the others are on here. So I can't really show you the cosmetics on this class. Other than, like, obviously now it looks different because we've inherited different essences. So this is with everything turned off. You can see I've got literally all of the cosmetics turned off with this little eye logo here. So yeah, all I've got equipped is, this is just literally what the Warlock gear looks like, which is awesome because like I said, I like that Warlock actually looks nice with just the gear equipped. Okay, thanks Nabil for confirming. So let's go to my favourite place in Diablo Immortal. Let's go to Wortham. And we'll test this out on some mobs and see what it looks like. Those arms are funny. It's like the blown balloon arms for that one SpongeBob episode. Sorry, I've missed some messages. Welcome in to everyone that's joined. How come female characters look better than male? I'm offended white middle-aged man. Happy Bear. I mean, you can always play a female character. There's nothing stopping you playing a female character. So let's go and test this out. So let's firstly try the Lash of Pain. And look at that, your Soul Gorger literally just jumps in and like kills everything as well. And obviously with your primary attack as well, just to show you, you can move with this. Which is actually really awesome. I mean, to be fair, this movement, this is so similar to Wizard, when Wizard can do the electrocute and move at the same time. Okay, so the next one, let's try using our arms to kill some stuff. This is cool. This is awesome. And this is the Infernal Eruption. But obviously, if you're using that Infernal Eruption, because you're doing fire damage, your Soul Gorger is then able to increase their damage from the essence that we've got equipped as well. So this is what it looks like in the actuality. Running out of mobs to kill. So yeah, this, I like this build, Nabil. Well done. This is a nice build. It feels kind of like nice to play as well. I know the movement speed looks pretty slow on Warlock. I don't have any Warband Remnants, so I don't have Protector or anything like that for everything to obviously work as smoothly as it would once you've got it set up on your character. If you're going to do this as your existing character, if you're going to swap to Warlock as your new character, like just swap class on your main character, you'll probably have a lot of fun playing this, I think. It's pretty awesome. More mobs to kill so I can try and show you exactly. Chirag, are you tempted to swap to Warlock? Looks like Tempest speed level there. It is a little bit like that. You do love the skills with the red arms and the hands coming up and slashing, very unique. Yeah, it is definitely. Did you try playing Paladin or Warlock on Diablo 4? I haven't got Diablo 4. I still haven't tried Diablo 4. Hopefully one day. But yeah, I haven't tried Diablo 4, unfortunately. Let's do the cursed chest while we're here. So we could try this out in a dungeon as well. See what it's like against bosses. Should we do that? Should we go and do like Cavern of Echoes? Now I will point out this Warlock, with it being the demo, I also have no runes, as you probably noticed when I equipped all the gear back on. So there aren't, I don't think there's any runes even on here. So yeah, we don't have like any runes to use. So please bear in mind that we're not necessarily going to do crazy damage like you will with your main characters that are like maxed out. Even if you're lower resonance, you'll probably find you have an easier time potentially. Or we could try a challenge rift. I've never tried D4. No, Yogi, I haven't. We're going to stick to Necromancer. I played Warlock in Diablo 4 though, and you'll be finishing Diablo 2 Resurrected with Warlock. That's awesome. Yes, I know, Yogi, your favourite place is up amongst Mountains of Aim. You only play the female after after 11 PM on Saturday nights. Is that true, Happy Bear? We all know your secret now. Everyone that's watching the live stream. Okay, let's do a dungeon. Or should we do Namari? Because everyone loves Namari, don't they? That's like everyone's favourite. Oh my gosh, nothing's even unlocked other than the waypoints. Okay, let's go. Let's go to Namari and do a run of that. So this is not the speed build. This is the PVE build that Game Zone's put together. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what set items I want. I don't even know what set items. I didn't even check what set items I got equipped. I just realised that. I might be using the new set actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think we've got the new set on. So this is the new set, which I believe is in the patch notes today. Let me just check, because I don't want to get into trouble for... showing the wrong thing. I'm just checking the patch notes because I haven't read this. This literally came out today. They're changing the set pool update as well. Can't see a... Okay, yeah. It's already on the patch notes, so I can read through this. I just wanted to double check because I didn't want to get in trouble for showing you something that I shouldn't be. So the new set is called Holger's Hunger. So with 2 pieces, enter a blood rage, takes damage equal to 0.5% of your current life every 0.5 seconds, while increasing your critical hit chance by 18% for 5 seconds. This effect has a 10-second cooldown. 4 pieces, each time you take damage, gain 1 rage. Upon reaching 10 rage, trigger a burst of rage that instantly heals 8% of your maximum health and increases your critical hit damage by 36% for 5 seconds. Burst of blood has a 10-second cooldown. And then 6 pieces, anger requires 15 rage to trigger and increase its effectiveness by 50%. While in burst of rage, accumulating 10 more rage points triggers a double burst that refreshes the duration of the outburst and increases your attack and movement speed by 40%. Again, that might change because of the fact that it's a little typo there. For 12 seconds, this effect has a 54-second cooldown. And again, as I mentioned at the start of this live stream, all of these numbers, all of these figures, please take with a pinch of salt because they may change slightly once this update is live in game. They're not always 100% accurate because it is the test build. Now, am I going to die in this dungeon? I need to know. It is the new set that's good for Warlock. Sadly, won't be great for all classes. Yeah, I think that the new set is not going to be good on all classes. You hope in the future they add Paladin to Diablo Immortal. Weird how we have no sword character in the game, right? Isn't Crusader a sword character? Namari is such a fast dungeon. It might not be fast with this Warlock. Yeah, I don't know if Paladin is considered Crusader and Diablo Immortal. I think they're probably kind of on par with each other. You're just reading through the patch notes to see the new Necromancer essences. I will also go through the patch notes before the end of this live as well. There's a little difference between Paladin and Crusader, but close enough. You love Namari, run like crazy to unlock the dungeons because it's great to boost the Paragon and help a load of gold. Hey, Cockney Oi, welcome in. We have a new set. Yes, we have a new set. Is the crit flat or multiplicative? I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what it says. What my critical hit chance and everything here is awful anyway. I imagine it would probably be flat rate. I imagine it would probably be flat rate. Let's enter this. And obviously some of these sets, as you know, some sets are going to be or have been removed. I don't know if it's been removed from this already. Yeah, it looks like it's been removed already and replaced with duplicates. We won't bother. We'll just go with whatever we get. I don't know how hard a challenge dungeon is going to be because, as I said, this character has no runes. So we may die. It would be faster than we Yogi. Oh, we got an explosive reaction. I'm really worried that I'm going to die in this. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, maybe not. We might be okay. We might not be okay. I don't know. We're not taking anything down very quickly, are we? Yeah, it's a little bit slow to kill, but as I said, please bear in mind that although this has 8,000 resonance, I have no Legacy of the Haradrim. I also have no runes equipped. I don't even know if I've got the Paragon equipped, actually. Let me double check. There are new Paragon skills coming out as well. So we have got a Paragon equipped, that's fine. I need to double check. I don't think I've equipped Paragon that GZ said to, though. Okay, let's... I mean, this looks pretty good. This build is pretty awesome that GZ's put together. I really like it. Kind of easy to play with. And I do like that with the primary attack that you can move. You know, it's kind of annoying with a lot of classes that you can't. See the Soul Gorger's life as well goes down and then increasing. As I said, it's just slower because I don't have everything I should have on a normal character. Oh my gosh, did not mean to jump over there. So it is a little bit like Chirag said, movement is a little bit like Tempest. Especially like this, the jumping around. Similar to Tempest, the way Tempest moves. Oh my gosh. This is the longest Namari run ever, guys. Once you get going, it's doing an okay amount of damage, but it's going to be interesting with these bosses. And then you can see the sacrificial power there again. Right, let's so obviously we've got the 2 combat stances as well. Let's change combat stance and see. So I'm just going to go over here. I'm probably going to get killed by this demon now. So we've got active now. All nearby enemies are something stunned for 3 seconds. Primary attacks now reduce the movement speed of enemies. Or we've got the other one, which our attack speed is increased. So the other one is probably the offensive one is probably slightly better for Warlock in PVE. Whereas the defensive one is probably better for PvP. Obviously activating between it. Let's go back to the offensive. Primary attack just not doing anything. I think the arms are stuck on me. Gosh. This will work better against bosses with everything on a maxed out character, as I've already said. Those extra arms are weird. I know, Lana. I'm not sure how I feel about the extra arms, personally. Deals damage pretty quickly, though. I keep thinking that I'm just stood there not doing anything, and then I realise it's because I've got Echoing Shade Crystal equipped. And it's my summons that are just not doing anything. Oh my gosh. Taking a lot of damage here. So we've actually got the ultimate charged as well, so we'll try that on Sargoth in a moment. See, with all the skills active, you can deal like crazy amount of damage quite quickly. And it does help that you have a Soul Gorger that's like literally also doing damage with you. I mean, look at the life go down now with all the skills active. That's if you can get like cooldown reduction on all your gear as well. That probably help with making that even better. Let's try the ultimate. Gosh. Ah, almost dead. The Soul Gorger is down. Oh no, that's so sad. No, it's just me. Soul Gorger's back from the dead. So I'm not sure how long the cooldown is when your Soul Gorger dies. Check the skills menu and see if it mentioned that. I may have read it and not even paid attention to what it said. Try not to die here. There we go. Finally finished that one dungeon. You know, Druid has no channels, which bothers you. You love channel skills. Are there any instances that are channel? Let me check. Let me check if any of the skills are channel. I didn't really pay attention to that when we were looking. So buff and damage, damage and buff, damage and summon. Obviously, some of the essences might make them into channeling skills. Damage, dash, buff and dash, buff, summon and damage, damage and gather, summon and damage, damage and buff. I think you can channel, as I said, with some of the essences, buff and heal, buff and damage, damage and summon, and then damage. So there's not specifically any channel skills, but some of the essences may change, summon them into channel skills. Let's salvage this. So funny that some of these have higher combat rating than the legendary gear that I've got equipped. It's kind of ridiculous. Let's just see. Both set items we got are better than what we got equipped as well. Could potentially look at replacing 2 of these things with what's it called? Bitus. That would probably work quite nicely. Also, before anyone says anything, the ring does only have 1 slot. That isn't a red slot, it's the gem on these rings. When I first looked at this, I thought it had a red slot and a yellow slot. And then I realised it wasn't. It was actually just the graphic of that ring. So yeah, bear that in mind. Okay, let's leave the dungeon. Let's test out the other build that GZ put together. So the second build is more of a speed build. So we can test that out in maybe an Elder Rift and see. Maybe we should test this one in an Elder Rift first and then test the speed build and see the difference in that. See what it looks like. Should have just changed where I was going and gone up to. Let's just go to the Elder Rift first. Should be nice and fast with the speed build in an Elder Rift. We can do the essence transfer at the training grounds then as well. Oh, we got a free crest. Let's go. That ring graphic is confusing with the red at the top. I know, it's so confusing with the red at the top. I was like, hang on a minute, that looks like it's a double slot. But I was like, I have to show you that on the live because I didn't want people like watching the live stream later and being like, oh my gosh, there's 2 gem slots and like screenshots everywhere. Like, no, it's not 2 gem slots. It's just how the ring looks. It's just the graphic. But yeah, it does actually look like it's that. But yeah, Warlock is pretty awesome. I mean, I've had a lot of people asking if I swapped this class. I still don't know. I might do it on my alt character because my alt, I play Tempest currently. And as Chirek said, like a lot of the movement for Warlock seems kind of similar to that. However, the skills and obviously everything else are not similar to that at all. But yeah, I might try it out on my alt character. Okay, so in Elder Rift, this is nice and easy. Oh, we got a couple of legendary items. Doesn't look like they're upgrades though. So identify them. We'll identify them and then see. What do you think about the set? Do you think Blood Flow is skippable now with that set? I don't know. I mean, using the 2 together could work quite nicely. But with this, it's got the sacrificial. I mean, it's taking damage equal to 0.5 of your current life every 0.5 seconds. So, for me, that's what concerns me. That's only going to be good on the classes that can heal. So, I mean, this could work potentially for Druid and for Blood Knight, because obviously Blood Knight has the Siphon Life. But I can imagine that could be quite painful, depending on what situation you're in. And again, that's got the healing. So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have a bleed effect, does it? Whereas Blood Flow does have the bleed effect. So I would say no. I would still want to use the 2 together if I was going to use this set. And I don't know if I think even if I went for Druid, even if I went for Warlock, I don't know if I would 100% use that set on Warlock. the fact that it's got like the fire skills and increased damage with burning would make me want to possibly use some Angmits on it, or test Angmits out at least. And as I said, I think using 2 pieces of Vitus with the 6 of the new set could work quite nicely as well, potentially. Or even 2 pieces of Angmits with it. Okay, let's try out the second build. Before we do that, let's save this build. I want to click. I won't click store runes because I don't have any. Oh, I don't have a charm either. So let's save this as GZ1. And we'll try out his second build that he's put together. Let me just check if I missed anything in the chat. The darker theme of the Warlock suits you, like the Wizard and Necromancer. Yeah, I do like it. I'm swapping love to try out skills at night. Lana, I honestly think you'll love Warlock. I think you will love the Warlock completely. Yeah, Lana, definitely try it. Oh, I'm not even doing anything, but my Soul Gorger is. I'm messing up someone else's thing. Hang on. Someone else is trying to test, so I'm going to leave because my Soul Gorger is like totally messing up their test. Let's go back down to the essence transfer down here. That is one thing that is actually going to be really annoying, and one thing they haven't potentially considered. I might give that as feedback to the developers actually, because if you're trying to test something and then someone's Soul Gorger is damaging the training dummy, that's going to mess up and completely skew people's results. Hey Pete, welcome in. How are you? We're just going to put together another build, so I'm just going to close the chat again. So right, this second build is the speed build that GZ's put together. So let's firstly equip the next skills that we're going to use. So we're still using, I think we're using all skills the same except for, so there's 2 skills I need to replace. So we're going to be replacing Lash of Pain with Burning Ascent. And then we're also going to be replacing Tyrant's Grasp with, where is it? I'm trying to find the skill. Devouring Darkness. I think that's got all the skills. So that's all the correct skills equipped for the next one. Let's go in and change the essences if my controller's going to work. So for Helm, we need to go for Scarred Memories. Oh my gosh, just let me... I'll read through the description as we change them this time. So Burning Ascent's cooldown is reduced by 0.15 seconds and restores 10% energy for every 5 yards travelled. Burning Ascent damage is increased by 9%. So let's go for that one first. Then on the chest, we're going for Ashes of Liberty, which we've got equipped already. So just as a recap, Infernal Eruption now conjures a ritual of flames around you that increases in intensity with your movement speed, dealing damage to enemies within the area and burns them. Infernal Eruption damage is increased by 18%. Infernal Eruption damage is increased by 10% from the awakened slot. Then on the shoulders, we're going for Unholy Domain. Yeah, I was just double checking that. Let's find that. So Devouring Darkness now drains your life to empower you for a short time, causing your damage to unleash blast waves of dark magic at your target's location, dealing damage to all surrounding enemies. Devouring Darkness damage is increased by 18%. Sorry, I was just checking on Nacho because he just completely stretched out. He was under his blanket, now he's suddenly like appeared with all of his legs just sprawled out everywhere. Okay, pants, we are going for Margin of Error. And a huge thank you to GZ for sharing these builds with me. As I said, I've just not had a chance to look into Warlock. Life has been completely, really stressful and awful last week. The whole week was a mess. So Infernal Eruption range is increased by 29% and Infernal Eruption damage is increased by 10%. Then we've got Crash and Burn for the first main hand. So Burning Ascent is now channeled. So there is a channel skill, Chaos. We'll check if it comes up as a channel skill. allowing you to control the demon as it flies around the area, unleashing blasts of wind below it, dealing damage to enemies within the area. Burning Ascent damage is increased by 18%. So we'll check to see if that is actually classed as a channeling skill once we've got everything else equipped. Next main hand. Oh, I should have just not changed everyone. Next one is Cavalier Cutter. Which is what we already had. So your Soul Gorger would die, but instead go into a blood frenzy, preventing its death for 4 seconds, while also increasing damage by 28.5% and movement speed by 28.5%. Then offhands, we need Sean Hollow and Jawless Grin, which I think are the two that we've already got. So we've got Jawless Grin there and Sean Hollow, yeah. So we don't need to change the offhands, but just read through these again. Infernal Eruptions also deals 38% increased damage to burning enemies. And then with Sean Hollow, Demonic Pact. Now sacrifice a portion of your life. Yep, we have got that. Also, again, ignore the typos here because this is just the test server. It will be all fixed once it's in game. And as I've said already, some of the numbers may change. So Demonic Pact now sacrifices a portion of your life to grant yourself and your summons increased damage and movement speed, but you also take increased damage. Should any of you die, your death will briefly be delayed. Demonic Pact cooldown is reduced by 7.2%. Oh, I don't need to inherit because I already have that. Okay. Let me open the live stream again on my phone. Sorry, guys. If my phone's going to do that. So this is GZ's second build that we're going to be trying out. Oh, I've missed a lot. Warlock incoming for you as well, GZ. Oh, you do like it. Second build is going to be so much fun. Its speed is insane. Okay, thanks, GZ. I'm excited to try this one. Hey, welcome in, Zion. Sorry if I've said your name wrong. You feel like you're going to be slapped around by red hands in PvP soon. Oh my gosh. Happy Bear, imagine. We're all just going to get, like, slapped around the face in, like, the whole time. You never swapped to any other class, did you? No, Xeon hasn't ever swapped to another class in Diablo Immortal yet. I'll do the origin quest, but you'll be sticking to Necromancer still. Loyal to the bone. Life was a mess. Join the club, but we're still here, right? Yeah, just about. Last week was a write-off. It's going to be cool mixing Necromancer with Warlock in parties and the synergy. Yeah, definitely. Hey, welcome in, Zombie. Constantly move when using channeling. This way you won't run out of channeling. Okay. So let's check. So I think it was that one that should be channeling now. So Chaos, yes, you can change Burning Ascent to a channel skill. I'm not sure about the others. I do feel like there is another one that you can change to channel skill, but I can't remember which one. So yeah, there are channel skills for Warlock, but obviously it's just based on you changing the essences for it. So let's test this out. Let's see what this looks like. Is that how Burning Ascent is meant to use? Oh, okay, look. And look at that, it's like not going down at all. So, okay, GZ, now I see what you mean. This is kind of fun. You're just like, bye, bitches. Can you imagine when you're in a party? And you're like, see you guys later, bye. And you just like fly off, off the screen. That's actually pretty hilarious. Okay, this one is the same as we had before. We've also got this. And then we have this one, which was the same as before, which obviously increases your attack and movement speed. Let's try this out in an Elder Rift. Warlock goes brrr. Yeah, let's bye. Let's go. Let's do this in an Elder Rift again. That's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea how I'm gonna play this. Like, obviously with different builds, it's like, okay, let's. Oh, okay. So actually, let's do. We do Infernal Eruption. And this. We get Firestorm. Is it coming up as Firestorm? It's not, is it? I figured that because it was like blasts of wind, we might get Firestorm from that combination. I can't see it coming up on the screen. Maybe you guys can. Is it coming up? I can't see it coming up as Firestorm. I figured it might do. Let's try it again. I guess it's not classed as a wind skill though, is it? Oh, we've actually found a rune. Amazing. Yeah, this is really fast. Like, don't ever bother with friggin' parties for Elder Rifts anymore, guys, because if you party with a Warlock, you're gonna be left behind, like literally left in the dust, especially with this build. Nabil, this is so much fun. Thank you for putting this build together. Sorry guys, Nabil is GZ, that's why I keep shouting that name out. I just, when you know everyone's names, it's like really hard to get into the habit of calling them by their like actual username. But yeah, so this is GZ's second build. Look at that, that cooldown just doesn't, it's like never ending. I love it. I love it. That's so much fun. That is so much fun. Activate all skills before flying and it will instantly kill everyone. Okay, let's try it again. I'm going to activate all the other skills and then we'll fly and then we'll see what it looks like. Could you add Golden Firmament or Stormvault gem to trigger Firestorm on the build? Yeah, see, this is what I'm wondering. I feel like a lot of the skills with Warlock and a lot of the essences could potentially make Firestorm. I don't have those gems to test, I don't think. I don't even know what gems I have got equipped on this test one. Let's just equip this rune that we've got. Oh, I have to visit Charlie first. Let's ignore that then. Also, I'm not going to go through this because the gem descriptions are wrong on these gems in the game. No, we don't have either of those. We don't have Stormvault or it was Stormvault, wasn't it? The other one, yeah, Stormvault or Golden Firmament. So I can't test that, unfortunately. Okay, let's do this again. Right, you're swapping to Warlock just so you can fly. Oh my gosh, all those servers that have those giant wings, the cosmetic wings now, just imagine their friggin' demon carrying them around and their massive wings as well. Right, so we're gonna do all the skills first and then we're gonna fly. Oh my gosh, yes, look at this. Insane, insane, insane. Literally just everything dies. Nice find, GZ. Let's fly. Love it. Like, literally everything is just dying. Come fly with me. Let's fly away. That's literally amazing. If Lana is still here, she's literally gonna love this. But yeah, this is awesome. But will I swap my Necromancer to Warlock? I don't know yet. I want to play it on my ult first. I'm interested to see if this could work in PvP, you know? Obviously we can't test this out in PvP because there's no one else in Battleground. I don't think it would give us a bot match either. But potentially this could be really nice in PvP. Why is it flashing at me? Have we got something? Oh, it's gonna be the junk gear again. Okay. Just the exit. That's not the exit, is it? Yeah. Really far away. Let's try this one in what's it called? Yeah, I knew you'd love that, Lana. I knew you'd love the look of that. You're going to have so much fun trying out gem combos with this build. Oh my gosh, Pete, yes, you're going to love it. You like those wings? It looks so good. Are those new? Oh, wait, which are new? Wait, 2 gems in your inventory. Yes. So, Roiling Consequences is required to set Firestorm effect. Can't wait to fly. Yeah, Lana, you're going to love it. I know that you're going to love that so much. So, yes, there are these 3 new gems. But they are not working. They're not working as intended. Or the descriptions are wrong. So the descriptions are totally wrong in the test thing. I'm just seeing if it's in the patch notes, because if it is, I can just read it from here. They obviously already said about the 5-star gem. Okay, yeah, 3 new legendary gems. So let me read this. So I can show you. Well, no, the values are wrong. This is the thing, and the descriptions are wrong. So we have, that's lightning core. It's these three. Sorry, these three. So we have, again, even the names is wrong. So 3 new legendary gems. The first one is Interminus Stone. So this is a 1-star gem. While moving, your damage and evasion rating is increased. And the resonance gems needed inside of that are Heartstone and Divine Soul. The 2-star gem, your critical hits cool down a lightning blast that shocks nearby enemies, dealing damage every second for a few seconds. Additionally, your damage is increased for each nearby shocked enemy, which stacks. Lightning blasts cannot occur more often than once every 6 seconds. So that will obviously replace the set that they've removed. I've already forgotten the name of it, but I was using that set quite a lot as Wizard. And the resonance gems required in that are Carson's Invigoration, Bloody Reach, and Volatility Shard. And then the 5-star gem, the power of the Demonic Soul Shard surge through you, increasing your damage done and movement speed. When dealing damage to enemies, you embed Soul Shard fragments into their flesh for a few seconds that causes them to take increased damage from you, stacking with each additional attack. Soul Shard fragments also reduce the duration of beneficial effects enemies gain. Each enemy cannot be afflicted by new Soul Shard fragments more than once every 20 seconds. And the resonance gems required inside the 5-star gem are Mercy's Harvest, Spectre Glass, Igneous Scorn, Echoing Shade, and Void Spark. So that is what the gems will be. I'm guessing I think the images for them is correct, but obviously the names and the actual descriptions are totally wrong in this test build. So I won't bother showing you that in depth or anything like that because it's going to be completely wrong. So let me just get my live stream up again. Sorry, I just want to check that I've not missed anything in the chat, which I have. The gems weren't in patch notes, I think, only 5-star. So there's new patch notes today. So those are live now. We could actually look through the patch notes on this live stream if you want. We've still got like 40 minutes. Endwinter, it's not Endwinter, it's the other one. Skybreaker's Bolt. Skybreaker's Bolt, I think that one's going as well. You like both, you can finally combine Void Spark with that. Yeah, it could do for more damage. You and the character have the same hairdresser's Rish. So I did actually style my hair inspired by Warlock today. I'm not even joking. I was looking at my character in game, and I was like, I'm going to try and do my hair a little bit like hers. So that's what I did. Thank you for noticing, Happy Bear. Thank you for noticing. They're also ranked 10 as well, you think. Yeah, they were at rank 10, the ones that I've got in stash. And take firm with the 1-star for a good amount of evasion. Yeah, there's lots of gem combinations you could do with these new ones. Should we read through the patch notes? I can bring it up on the stream. Let me just try and find it. And then we can go through that as well. Just trying to find where the article is. Grab this. Let's do patch notes. You never read those. Okay, let's bring up the chat notes. The chat notes, the patch notes. I need to. Oh my gosh, I've just typed in the wrong thing. Bear with me. So, and then if I bring this on top of Diablo. Perfect. Okay, these are the new patch notes from today that have landed at the same time I started my live stream. So let's have a little look through. If Rish doesn't do a video, you have no idea. I love that. I love that. Okay, let me put my controller to one side. Let's have a little look through. So master demonology with the Warlock. And we've got a female Warlock here. A brooding force has arrived in Sanctuary. The Blooded Jewel major update brings Diablo Immortal's 10th class, the Warlock. Bend demons to your will, sacrifice your life and soul for untold power, survive the twisted streets of Luke Ghislaine, brave terrifying new Halipri bosses, and earn 3 new powerful legendary gems. As with previous content updates, there will be server maintenance on June 16th, 2026 from 5 PM to 7 PM PDT for Oceania, East Asia, Southeast Asia and Europe servers, and on June 17th, 2026 from 1 AM to 3 AM PDT for servers in the Americas. After the maintenance has concluded, all items mentioned below will be live. Specific dates for any featured The features going live afterwards are provided below. And as always, as this is an early look at this patch, there may be some things that are subject to change. Let's have a look. Oh, Big Mac, welcome in. How are you? So in the codex for this, we've got Seek the Forbidden as the Warlock, new zone Loot Ghislaine, updates to the Elite Creed Gauntlet, carve through limited time events, gear and gem changes, Paragon, just Paragon, just there, Paragon. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Class balance changes and game updates. So Seek the Forbidden as the Warlock. Vizjerai summoners brought darkness to Sanctuary when they conjured demons from the burning hells to serve and empower them. For that offence, the Vizjerai were stripped of their titles, forbidden to practice demonology, and branded as the vilest humans alive following the Mage Clan Wars. But the Mage Clan Wars were a long time ago, and Sanctuary's memory is as short as its lives of its people. Though the Vizjerai no longer practice demonology, select writings survive confiscation by the Vizjaktar assassins. In this current frightful age, lists of demons' true names and old clan practices are being discovered by hedge mages and upstarts. Those who wield the forbidden powers of demonology share the Vizjerai's tolerance for risk and have earned the contemptible name Warlock. The Warlock is Diablo Immortal's 10th class, a summoner of demons, master of portals, and wielder of Hell's dark power. With Diablo's 30th anniversary and the arrival of patch 5.0, that power is in your hands. So obviously we've had a little bit of a look at Warlock. We've played it a little bit. We'll carry on playing it after I've read through these patch notes. But we have an idea of how this class is working and looking. Warlock exclusive events. Event time, all 3 Warlock only events run from June 17th to July 6th at 3 AM server time. So we've got quite a bit of time to do these Warlock specific tasks, which is quite fun. It's always nice. Sorry, I did not mean to smack my microphone. It's always nice when you've got a little bit of time to do these. So the first one is Powers Prince Warlock Origin Quest. Experience the origin of the partnership between the Warlock and the Soul Gorger. That will be quite fun to play. Again, all of these I will cover in individual videos like I normally do, because it's always quite fun to try these out. So yeah, I will cover these in individual videos. Forbidden Trials Warlock Trial Race. The Warlock release will feature a Warlock exclusive speedrun version of the Mad King's Breach dungeon, where the top players in the leaderboard can earn exclusive rewards. I know what build everyone's going to be going with from what we've just practiced. Hellbent Chase Demon Binders Plane. Sorry, I've got really bad neck-ache for some reason. Enter a unique fractured plane to experience the new Warlock class and complete levels to progress. You'll be randomly assigned one of 4 level 60 builds before entering. Okay, interesting. New zone Loot Ghislaine, and I know that this is what a lot of people have been excited for, myself included. I love a new zone. Known as the Jewel of the Desert, the port city of Loot Ghislaine has been overrun by demons enthralled to Indariel, Maiden of Anguish. New Common Ward subzone will take you inside part of the captured city that includes new demonic adversaries, bounties, and wanted monsters. Take a fresh look at this classic Diablo locale as it is devastated by an implacable and sadistic adversary. With the release of the new main questline, you'll be able to explore and fight enemies in the docks, gutters, abandoned taverns, and ruined homes of Loot Ghislaine, while other parts of the city remain sequestered. For now. Again, I'm so excited for Loot Ghislaine. I'm really, really excited for that. I cannot wait to explore that and film it and share it with you guys. Removing future main quest barriers. Okay, so let everyone experience the latest story as soon as possible. The unlocked requirements for the Loot Ghislaine main quest will be adjusted after this update. All adventurers who reach Paragon level 90 can begin the Loot Ghislaine main quest directly without completing the prerequisite story. That's interesting. At the same time, the game will support freely switching between the old and new main storylines, allowing adventurers to choose their own place of progression. See, for me, I like exploring it in order and knowing what the storyline is in the game. But I guess for like new players or people that have come back just for Warlock, it might make it a bit more fun to be able to do that. So rules unlock requirement. Adventurers who reach Paragon level 90 can accept and experience the Loot Ghislaine main quest directly from the quest panel without being restricted by progress in earlier main story chapters. Progress switching. Adventurers can switch freely between the earlier main storyline and the Loot Ghislaine main quest at any time. After switching, your current main quest progress will be automatically paused and saved, and you can resume it whenever you switch back. Exiting the story experience. Adventurers who are already progressing through the Loot Ghislaine main quest or who prefer to follow the story in chronological order will not be affected by this update and can continue their journey as planned. So yeah, for people like myself, if you want to follow the story in order, you can still do that. Updates to the Halikri Gauntlet. With the addition of new Inferno difficulties and Halikri bosses, the Halikri Gauntlet is being updated to expand the challenge and rewards. Defeating Halikri Gauntlets for the next Inferno difficulties will reward you with the Seekers of Riddergrove, Sunrise Weapon Armor, and Portal, respectively, in addition to these base rewards for all difficulties. Demonic Remains, set items, legendary gear, and experience. The last Inferno Gauntlet, that is, I cannot read Roman numerals, I'm not going to lie. I think that's 15. Gauntlet now has 3 legendary crests. It's nice that they've actually added legendary crests to that because the last one is always really difficult. We're expanding the leaderboards for the Halikri Gauntlet to include new cross-server rankings and cross-attire regions. Players familiar with Battle of Realms cross-server can see how these regions are broken down globally. The original server, first, achievements, and rewards will remain unchanged, while the new regional rankings will provide additional recognition for players who rise to the challenge and secure a place among the best in the region. So basically, whoever wins Battle of Realms is most likely to have the best score for this as well, because it's normally world teams, but there we go. To further highlight these milestone victories, we've also added special first clear broadcast announcements to the new reward notifications, ensuring that hard-earned achievements receive the visibility and recognition they deserve. The new prestige leaderboard is additional to our Halikri Gauntlet leaderboard, so players will be able to tab between their server and cross-server rankings on the same menu page. Sorry, I've missed so much of the chat. Let me just check in on the chat. Oh my gosh, I've missed so much. What is Warlock? You'll see Warlock in a second, Big Mac. You've missed like an hour of the stream. You've missed Warlock. Are you the only one that actually sees some benefit in some essences being removed? I mean, so many useless old essences. Yeah, there are a lot of useless essences. The amount of times I tried to say Vizjurai in my last video. Yeah, Chirag, it took me a while, and I had to go through some Diablo videos to check that I was saying it correctly. I think it's meant to be Vizjurai, but Vizjurai is just how I'm saying it. None of yours are being removed, so you don't care. Did you manage it in the end? Is Ricia a model? No, I'm not a model. Oh my gosh, no. That's actually hilarious. As long as no one uses those essences, but sometimes older essences can be useful later when they release new ones. I know, yeah, sometimes when they release newer essences, some of the old ones work really nicely for builds and like synergies and stuff. So I think that's where it's going to be a little bit difficult. But obviously we have had some essences more recently that have been similar to older essences. So I'm guessing that's part of the reason why they've decided to remove some of the older ones. What available cosmetic in Battle Pass for Warlock? I'm not actually sure yet. I imagine the current Battle Pass, because it's going to be the tempered or empowered version next month. I imagine that would have to apply to Warlock because of the fact that Warlock is in game already. So I'm not entirely sure, but I imagine you could possibly get that on Warlock. Kind of reminds me of that Crusader offhand that became a hallmark in .resolve builds after more than 2 years in the game. Exactly. But you wouldn't be able to tell due to the edit. I love that you've edited it out. Westmarch will be swarmed with Warlocks and the Demons this week. I know, Lana, literally Westmarch is going to be covered in Warlock and Soul Gorgers everywhere. Don't start with that again. Take the compliment. No, you know I do not take compliments. Okay, new Halikri bosses. So the sands within the Arachnok Desert have shifted, revealing ancient evils within the Pitbound. Though the Vizjurai are now a distant echo, this hellspawn they summoned from the burning hells still remain in sanctuary. These demons have lurked within the rocky dunes for centuries, feasting upon any inhabitants, travellers and drifters unfortunate enough to lose their way within the sands. So let's have a look. So we have Galact, Knight, Clan, Trickster. The Vizjurai of old tortured and experimented on many creatures, including Galact. After the Mage Clan Wars led to the condemnation of the Vizjurai demon summoning, the Khazra were abandoned and left to rot. Since then, the Khazra have learned to hone ancient magic for itself, though at great cost. By carving runes into its own flesh and painting the floor with its own blood, Galact has achieved complete dominion over its own prison. I actually love the look of this Halikri boss because it reminds me of like Slipknot. Not gonna lie. Shackled Moor, Primordial Soul Gorger. One of the first Soul Gorgers, Shackled Moor, was summoned by an ancient Visidurai and studied for decades. At first, they believed they could exploit its insatiable appetite for both human and demon flesh to their advantage. However, the mages eventually lost the ability to control the Hellspawn, so they locked away the demon in a buried prison with its brethren. While Shackled Moor has curbed its hunger on the other imprisoned demons, it now seeks vengeance on its tormentors, the human race. Raiders, the False Seer. I do probably saying this wrong as well. The Claw Vipers of Arachnok have long venerated their ancient god, a powerful yet mysterious being seemingly capable of harnessing the might of the sun and the winds. During the day, Raiders collects offerings from its followers, but at night, anyone who witnesses its true demonic form is quickly drowned by the sands. So those will be in-game with the update. Major update events. Warlock exclusive events are listed in the Warlock section of this article, which you've already seen. And Champions Commendations in the Blooded Duel event. Event time June 17th to July 6th at 3 am server time. Luca Lane has fallen, its streets are silent, save for demon patrols hunting for hidden survivors. What became of the Sultan and the adventurers who called this place home? Who will deliver the city from its new ruler? During the event, accept tasks that will reward Champions Commendations. Use this currency to purchase event rewards. Once you reach the weekly cap of 1,200 Champions Commendations, tasks will no longer give Champions Commendations when completed. So this is basically the same. We've had similar events in game before with the Champions Commendations and the rewards. So looking at the rewards here, we've got 3,000 gold, 100 scrap material, 10 enchanted dust, legendary equipment, Lyric Pearl, and legendary crest. Bout of Realms, Challenge of Equals, Season 2. So a lot of people asked about this recently during the Bout of Realms, and they were asking if we'd have Challenge of Equals anytime soon. So let's look through. So the event time, the preview period is June 15th to 16th, so today and tomorrow. Registration is from June 17th to June 21st, and the tournament period is June 22nd to the 26th. Results announced the 27th to the 30th. Challenge of Equals returns with updated progression, new systems, and many quality of life improvements based on player feedback from Season 1. The Warlock class will not be eligible for participation in Season 2. If you currently use Warlock, you will be prompted to adopt an eligible build from another class before entering the event. This restriction is intended to preserve competitive balance while also gather additional data following the class release. So if you are going to swap to Warlock, be prepared to swap out of Warlock for Bout of Realms Challenge of Equals. Obviously, the registration is the 17th to the 21st, so you have a few days to play Warlock once it lands, but then the event period starts on June 22nd, so the tournament starts on June 22nd. So if you do want to take part in this, be aware that you cannot do this as Warlock. And I believe that this is probably so that they can check what Warlock is doing or how Warlock is doing in PvP Battleground before they let it completely annihilate in an event like this. Because as we know in the past, we have had new classes that have landed in Diablo Immortal that have been really OP, like Blood Knight when that landed, and also Tempest when that landed. Both of those classes were OP for quite a while. And obviously this may happen with Warlock as well, as you've already seen from what we've been playing with it. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. I'm going to my controller, I don't need my controller. So yeah, that is for the Challenge of Equals. Updated character progression. Character progression has been refreshed to reflect the latest game version. New difficulty tiers are now included. New Paragon trees are now supported. The normalized progression system remains in place to ensure fair competition across all participants. Team management improvements. To address feedback regarding roster management and player availability, several new team features have been added. Teams may now recruit additional players after registration if a roster spot remains open. Teams may invite a temporary substitute player when they are unable to field a full roster for a match, which is what we had previously in the Challenge of Equals. New team voting tools allow members to remove inactive participants when necessary. Players removed from a team may rejoin their original team or continue participating with another eligible team. I don't know of anyone going inactive during Bout of Realms, but I guess that's quite good, because obviously if you have someone that's maybe travelling and they completely DC and they're just taking up space in the match, being able to replace them with someone else is actually quite a good idea. Master build improvements. Several improvements have been made to the master build system. So this is when you can choose a build from someone else for Battle of Realms Challenge of Equals. Players can now select master builds from different classes. Teams may field up to 3 players using the same class. Players can choose to enter the competition using their own build configuration, which will then be normalised by the event rules. Opponents will continue to see the class associated with the selected master build during matches. Beacon of Hope Phantom Market. Celebrate the incredible power that fuels valour, wisdom and justice. Participate in the Phantom Market and earn cosmetics themed on Oriel, the Archangel of Hope. So this is what the cosmetic will be looking like, which is pretty cool. I have got it on my character in the test build, so I could potentially show you this in a minute. Challenge Rift Season 19. So new Challenge Rifts will start from June 17th, and that will be levels 831 to 850. Gear and gem changes. Obviously, I've read through these legendary gems just now. So we're getting 3 new legendary gems. We're getting a 1-star, 5-star, and a 2-star gem. I did read through these descriptions just now, so I'm not going to go through that again. Gem events. Yeah, the cosmetic does look cool. That's one that you'll like, Chirag, because it's got blue on it, and it is actually a lot more blue in game than it looks there. So I think you will like that one. Claim Hellbound Desire free for a limited time. So you can get the gem for free. As part of the anniversary event, we will be giving a free SSR of the new legendary gem Hellbound Desire. It will have a dedicated free purchase option on the web store where users can claim it. Once claimed on Battle.net, users can find it in their in-game shop. Limit 1 per account. So yeah, everyone can claim that for free. Try max level Hellbound Desire for free. So again, you can try out, as I've done previously, you go to the market and you can test this gem fully maxed out for free between June 17th to July 29th. It is lasting for 1 hour once you activate that. So if you did want to test it out at its full potential, please bear in mind that you only have 1 hour for that, and it will only work in PVE. It will not work in what's it called? PvP. So you cannot use it in Battleground if you want to test it out at max ranks, is what I'm trying to say. Gem Surge event. So there's a Gem Surge coming back from June 17th to July 28th. So obviously we have one in game currently that will end, and then this one will replace it. And this event, Surge sigils can be used to upgrade the quality of specific legendary gems to 5 stars. I'm not entirely sure which those gems will be, which 5-star gems it will be that you can upgrade, but obviously that will all be in the update when it goes live. Gem pool drop. I can't say that. Gem drop pool updates. It's like a tongue twister trying to say that. New legendary gem drop pool event. After maintenance on June 17, 2026, and until July 29th at 2:59 AM. Following this maintenance, a new legendary gem drop pool will be available in Elder Rifts. When a legendary gem with a maximum star rating of 5 drops, there is a 50% chance it will be Hellbound Desire. Standard drop pool update. Again, after maintenance. So following the maintenance, Hellbound Desire, the Jolted Eye, and Interminous Stone will be added to the standard drop pool. Once the new legendary gem drop pool event concludes, the legendary gem rankings lowest in the standard drop pool based on overall equip rates and the number of times they've been crafted in rifts will be removed from that pool. So they're obviously looking at changing that again. New ancient legendary equipment. So with the introduction of Inferno 13, 14, and 15, 5 new shoulder slot ancient legendary items will be added. So this is what I was mentioning. This is what I was saying about. I was so glad that they put that in here because I think everyone was thinking I was crazy when I was telling you to be careful with crafting your gear and choosing accordingly. So let's read through this and see what it says. Existing chest slot ancient legendary items will continue to be available. Ancient legendary items can now only be acquired and crafted from Inferno 13 and above. Inferno 10 to 12 will no longer drop ancient legendary items, and ancient legendary crafting materials from low difficulties can be converted into mythic crystals used for enchanting ancient legendary equipment. The acquisition and crafting methods remain largely unchanged. Once players reach Paragon 1500 and unlock Inferno 13, they can obtain ancient legendary crafting materials through elite creep bosses, daily activity chests, and daily dungeon rewards. Collecting 100 materials allows players to craft ancient legendary item at the blacksmith. Ancient legendary items also have a very small chance to drop directly from select activities, including elite creep bosses, terror rifts, oblivion pillars, Ereban, and other endgame content available at Inferno 13 and above. Addition, ancient legendary items with an item level of 1500 or higher now support enchantment reversion. After replacing a magic attribute through enchanting, players may revert the item back to its previous magic attribute if desired. Looking ahead, we plan to continue expanding ancient legendary equipment into additional gear slots. However, whenever a new slot is introduced, the oldest slot will be retired, ensuring that no more than 2 ancient legendary gear slots are active at any given time. So that is why I was suggesting that for Inferno 12 you craft a helm if you have not already done so. Craft a helm instead of a chest, because the chest is still going to be available to craft for quite a while, whereas the helm is going to disappear. And if you craft it very, very close to the new Paragon difficulty, or once you've hit that new Paragon difficulty, no, you won't be able to do it once you hit the new Paragon difficulty because it'll be removed. But if you craft it right before the update, once you are at the highest Paragon that you can possibly get to before the update goes live, craft that helm and you should have some decent stats on it. Because the chest, as I said, you're still going to be able to craft for quite some time yet. 5.0 legendary equipment. So this is all the new legendary equipment available for all classes. I'm kind of running out of time on the live stream, so I don't know if I want to read through all of this. But I'll potentially make another video for this. Should we read through it? Should we read through it? I need a drink before we do that because it's a lot. It's a lot. Right. So wizard. Many-mouthed lamp offhand. Arcane wind also increases your primary attack speed by 13% for 2 seconds when it hits up to maximum of 39%. Fleeting agitator legs. Arcane wind deals 1.6 increased damage to every 1% increased movement speed, up to maximum of 48% increased damage. Ashen certainty shoulders. Scorch also causes enemies it hits to take 28.5% increased damage from primary attacks for 3 seconds. Skyhold crozier main hand. Arcane wind now empowers you, during which your movement speed is increased and your primary attack launches tornadoes, dealing wind damage and knocking back enemies. Inclement alchemy head. Scorch now targets an enemy to launch an orb of fire and lightning that bounces between enemies, exploding on impact and applying both burn and shock. Fulgurous medium chest. Lightning Nova now conjures an orb that follows you, firing lightning at nearby enemies as you move that will chain if they hit a shocked enemy. Running out of time, Ricia, 24 hours. Oh my gosh, 24-hour stream, could you imagine? I'm not in Des. So, Barbarian. Welded vigor legs. Chain spear heals 8% of your maximum life when it hits an enemy. Cannot be triggered more than once every 2 seconds. Frenzied crown head. Furious charge also increases critical hit chance by 19% for 3 seconds. Flurry fumes shoulders. Whirlwind generates 1.8 energy for every 1 yard you move. Steel omen main hand. Whirlwind now makes you immune to knockback effects and gradually increases your movement speed while you channel a spinning attack that rapidly damages all nearby enemies. Thanks for the little heart reacts, guys. It does help with boosting my live to other players of Diablo Immortal. Where do we get to? I don't know if I read that. I'm going to read it again. Steel omens. Whirlwind now makes you immune to knockback effects and gradually increases your movement speed while you channel a spinning attack that rapidly damages all nearby enemies. I had read that one. Iron heave offhand. Hammer of the Ancients now throws a spinning hammer that returns to you, damaging enemies and knocking them back. Hitting enemies with a hammer on its return reduces the skill's cooldown. Oh, okay, so that's quite cool. You can get reduced cooldown on that for Barbarian. Bindings of demolishment chest. Chain spear now throws a spinning blade that returns to you, damaging enemies and shattering their armor so they take more damage from you. Hitting enemies with a blade on its return reduces the skill's cooldown. So there's cooldown reduction for 2 of those skills there using those essences. Monk. This is in no order whatsoever. They're in really random orders. We started with pants for Barbarian, and for Monk we're starting with main hand. So Twin Fang's main hand. Wave strike damage is increased by 16% with each hit to the same enemy within 3 seconds, up to maximum of 48%. Ruinous Serenity head. Shield of Zen also increases your primary attack speed by 28.5% for 3 seconds. Echoing cacophony. Mystic Strike also increases your primary attack damage by 28.5% for 3 seconds. Dreaded Reunion offhand. Wave Strike now empowers you, surrounding you with lightning orbs that are fired by your primary attack, damaging enemies in their path before stopping where they land. Orbs return to you after a delay, damaging enemies in their path again. Winds of Fate chest. Cyclone Strike now leaps to a target location, pulling in nearby enemies and conjuring a storm that continuously damages enemies and inflicts shock. Ooh, that could be really good for Monk in PvP. Unending cycle legs. Mystic Strike now empowers you, during which your primary attack speed is increased and each primary attack conjures a mystic spirit to mimic the attack. So Demon Hunter next, we have Fractured Vilifier, main hand. Smokescreen also shatters enemy armor, increasing your critical hit chance against them by 7.6% for 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 22.8%. Suffering's Claimant Chest. Strafe now deals 28.5% increased damage to enemies suffering from a continuous damage effect. Travel by Night Shoulders. Shadow Sight also increases your movement speed by 48% while active. Toxic Holster's Legs. Smokescreen now throws a toxic canister at a target location, damaging, binding, and preventing enemies from using dash skills. Landing several primary attacks against affected enemies will trigger additional damage. Coronal Obscura Head. Shadow Sight now causes you to enter stealth, gaining visibility and accumulating Shadow Hunt stacks. Attacking will remove invisibility and increase your primary attack speed and primary attack damage based on your Shadow Hunt stacks. That could be really good in PvP. I feel like Demon Hunter's doing pretty good in PvP at the moment as well, so it'll be interesting to see if any of them are going to be using that. Any Demon Hunters in the chat? Yogi, I know you're a Demon Hunter. Let me know if you think that could be good in PvP. And then lastly, Covert Equalizer Offhand. Strafe now empowers your primary attacks to fire poison beams from a large crossbow at multiple enemies, damaging them and applying stacks of poison. Okay, so poison from Demon Hunter. That one's interesting. Crusader. Defiler's Repose main hand. The next punish within 6 seconds of a successful block stuns an enemy for 3.2 seconds. Cannot stun the same enemy this way more than once every 6 seconds. Heart of Conviction Offhand. Hardened Senses block chance is increased to 19%. Solid Votive. Hopefully that's the right way to say it. While Conjugation of Light is active, successful blocks heal you for 3.2% of your maximum life, triggering no more than once every 0.5 seconds. Faith Splint Chest. Conjuration of Light now grants you a shield that reduces damage taken and increases block chance. Successfully blocking while the shield is active will trigger a counterattack of Holy Light. Forced Abjuration. Forced Abjuration Legs. Sorry for saying that wrong the first time. Shield charge now swipes with your shield, damaging enemies in front of you, knocking them back from slowing them. With each hit, increasing the skill's damage for a short duration. Successfully blocking reduces the skill's cooldown. Anointed Blood Head. Consecration now conjures a holy circle of retribution that periodically bursts, dealing more damage depending on the damage you take between bursts. That one could be nice for PvP again. Demon Hunter essences look interesting, especially the strafe one. Hopefully it's considered a primary attack. Your PvE, you have no clue about PvP. That's fine. The Demon Hunter essences do look pretty interesting though. Necromancer, so I'm interested by this one, and I know that Zion already read through the Necromancer one. If I get in trouble, I call you and GZ to hide behind you. That's fine. So Necromancer, we've got Watchful Eyes Offhand. Bone Spear critical hits generate 2 corpses. Cannot trigger more than once per attack. So Bone Spear critical hits generate 2 corpses. Interesting. But it's not... I'm guessing it's not going to be... I'm guessing it's going to be the corpses that you can just use for other things. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of pointless. I don't know. Maybe that's just me thinking that. Collector's Grace Legs. Bone Armor also reduces damage taken by 21% while active. Finder's Keeper's Head. Command Golem damage is increased by 13% for 3 seconds when an enemy dies near your Golem, up to a maximum of 39%. Yay, new Necromancer essences. Crypt Reaper main hand. Command Golem now summons a spiked Golem who gains damage reduction and heals whenever a nearby enemy dies. Every 3rd Golem attack erupts spikes from the ground, knocking enemies airborne. And heals whenever nearby enemies die. So I wonder if he has, like, what the cooldown is going to be on that Golem. I'm interested what the cooldown's going to be. It's a rubbish essence just to get more corpses to match with Corpse Explosion and Lance. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Chirag. It doesn't seem any point using that one. But yeah, the Crypt Reaper one is kind of interesting. Alligator's Mort Chest. Bone armor now targets you or an ally, surrounding them with plates of bone that counterattack with spikes when an enemy attacks. That could be nice in PvP. Collateral Damage Shoulders. Corpse Explosion now targets one of your summons, consuming corpses to grant them an aura of soulfire that damages and slows enemies. The size and damage of the soulfire aura increases based on the number of corpses consumed. Chirag, what's your thoughts on the essences? I'm not that excited for them. But obviously I guess they can't make anything that's going to top Warlock, that's the thing. Blood Knight, Tightening Noose main hand. Tendrils of Blood also prevents the use of dash skills for 2.9 seconds when hitting an enemy. Cannot affect the same enemy more than once every 6 seconds. Screeching flight legs. Swarm of bats also increases your movement speed by 60% for 1.9 seconds. That'll be nice movement then for Blood Knight, because Blood Knight is not that slow. Spire Crown Head. Wave of Blood also has Life Drain, healing you for 19% of the damage it deals. Involuntary Transfusion offhand. Wave of Blood now toggled on or off, and while active, it conjures a blood pool to follow you that consumes your life and damage nearby enemies and then drain their life. When you reach certain thresholds of healing from the life drain, the size and damage of the pool increases. Cage of Thorns Chest. Tendrils of Blood now empowers you, during which damaging an enemy multiple times links them to you, continuously damaging them and draining their life and movement speed. And Violent Disassociation. Shoulders. Swarm of bats now called bats to orbit you briefly before they seek out enemies and explode, dealing damage that also has life drain. Nothing amazing, but it's the golden one that seems interesting, and you'll check them out. Here comes the vamp. I know. Alligatus Mortar sounds interesting. Yeah, could be. The live stream is early, my part of the world. Yeah, what time is it for you? What time is it for you? It's like, it is early. I mean, it's middle of the day here in the UK. It's like 3:55 p.m. currently. I'll continue on with this, guys, and then we'll take one more look at Warlock before we go. We'll take a look at Warlock in action again. So Tempest, Wave Striders, Ringmail, Chest for 3 seconds after using Cascade. Conjure a Zephyr every 3 yards you move. Legacy's Breath Legs. When Zephyr Surge consumes a Zephyr, it increases your critical hit chance by 7% for 3 seconds up to maximum of 21%. Kingdom Unto One Shoulders. Consuming a Zephyr increases critical hit damage by 16% for 3 seconds up to maximum of 48%. Keen Bitter Main Hand. Squall now slashes enemies all around you with blades, and if airborne enemies are hit, they are knocked airborne again, allowing a skill to be used once more for a short period. Dirk of the Drifting Mob offhand. Zephyr Surge now consumes all Zephyrs to slash at all nearby enemies, conjuring new Zephyrs with each slash and slamming airborne enemies into the ground with final slash, stunning them. You cannot be targeted while performing this attack. Rearing Fathom's Head. Cascade now slams the ground to create a pool of water that grants you invisibility and increases your movement speed. Attacking or using a skill within the pool reveals you and causes a beast to emerge, knocking enemies airborne and shattering their armor. So that sounds similar to more of the deep. Tempest essences could be interesting, some of them. The Zephyr Surge one, Dirk of the Drifting Mob, could be good for Tempest, I guess. What are those blue wings on Warlock in the background? They are part of the Phantom Market cosmetics. Sorry, I had to open the game screen to have a look. I'll show you though. I'll show you in a minute. Druid Imp binds chest. While a werewolf, your damage is increased by 10% for each nearby bleeding enemy up to maximum of 30%. Blooded Prey Legs. When Rend and Tear Werewolf hits a bleeding enemy, it deals additional damage that is increased if the enemy has lost at least 90% of their life. The same The same enemy can take additional damage up to 3 times every 2 seconds. Scalp Splitter Main Hand. Werewolf now unleashes a brutal roar as you transform into a blood-crazed werewolf, causing nearby enemies to bleed. While a blood-crazed werewolf, your critical hits cause enemies to bleed and damage bleeding enemies heal you. Hide Scraper Offhand. Rend and Tear Werewolf now slashes enemies in front of you with a bloodthirsty claw, restoring a charge if you hit a bleeding enemy. You are immune to knockback and loss of control while performing this attack. Coven's Crest Head. Lunge Werewolf now teleports to a target location, slashing with your claws to make enemies bleed. If an enemy is already bleeding, it takes increased damage and is feared. Half Seed Shell Shoulders. Howl Werewolf now empowers you with a scent for blood, increasing your movement speed and your critical hit chance against bleeding enemies. Damaging and bleeding enemy will extend the duration. So I think with Druid, I think a lot of people have been asking for new essences for Werewolf, because obviously Werebear is used quite a lot in many of the Druid builds, so it kind of makes sense that they've done some stuff for Werewolf this time. The new set I'm not going to read through, because again I read through this on earlier in the live stream, and I don't want to repeat it for people that are watching this live stream later in the day. Paragon new levels and difficulties. So Server Paragon will jump to Paragon 1500, and we're introducing 3 new difficulty levels. So on the 17th at 3 AM, when this update goes live, there will be 3 new difficulties for the Inferno. You will have Inferno 13, 14 and 15, and instantly the server will jump to Paragon 1500. So this is why I recommended saving up your Battle Pass points, which is what I've done as well. You have to try Blood Wolf. Sounds very, very fun. Chaos, I think you'd be really good with that as well. All I get is Barb, Necro, Demon Hunter, and my crappy BK trying to stay alive. It's been a while since you've seen Tempest in Battleground. Yeah, I mean, I don't play Tempest in Battleground, but yeah, I do play it in Shadow War, and it is okay, even on my like really crappy old character. So obviously here are the figures for the experience boost that you'll get if you're below the Paragon. There's new legendary Paragon skills as well. So we've got Whirling Flames. Firestorm generates a whirling flame that rushes towards you. Let's try again. Let's start that again. Whirling Flames. Firestorm generates a whirling flame that rushes forward from your position, damaging, burning, and knocking back enemies in its path. When wildfire is triggered, it unleashes 3 whirling flames. Enemies struck by multiple whirling flames will take 50% reduced damage from subsequent hits. Whirling flames cannot trigger more than once every 15 seconds. Elusive Strides. When you take damage, your movement speed is increased by 3% for 2 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Upon reaching max stacks, you gain immunity to the next total loss of control effect you receive. Cannot occur more often than once every 20 seconds. Concentrated aggression. When you deal damage to an enemy exceeding 50% of the maximum life, you deal a second blow. If their life is below 50%, the damage of that second blow increases. Cannot occur more often than once every 20 seconds against the same enemy. And overpowering blows. When you deal damage to an enemy exceeding 15% of their maximum life, you deal a second blow. Cannot occur more often than once every 20 seconds against the same enemy. So some interesting legendary Paragon skills added there. You're welcome, Lana. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer. Class, did not mean to highlight that. Class balance changes. This is what people have been wanting to see. So let's have a look. Barbarian Bone Guy, Hammer of the Ancients. Orbiting Hammer now causes knockback, cannot occur more often than once every 6 seconds, and grants you 15% damage reduction on hit for 1.5 seconds, stacking 3 times. Armory Clutch Cleave. Reduce the distance you move with empowered primary attacks from 1.5 to 1 yard and reduces the attack range approximately 20 to 25%. Crusader. Steely Detachment. Shield Charge. Shield Wall damage reduction is increased from 20% to 35%, and knockback duration is increased from 0.5 to 0.8 seconds. Concordance Axis Spinning Shield. Orbiting shields can no longer cause knockback and instead reduce the damage enemies deal to you by 35% for 3 seconds. Tempest, Scudding Verge, Rolling Surf. Spinning attack now resolves faster from 1.8 to 1.2 seconds, but total damage remains consistent. Cooldown reduced from 15 to 12 seconds. Knives now drop in a tighter radius, making it easier to pick them up. Game updates. Legendary Essence Pool update. So as we know, they're removing some of the essences from the game, and they're moving some of the sets from the game. So to improve the acquisition efficiency and make each drop more meaningful, we are streamlining the set item drop pool. Beginning June 17th, the following set items will be removed from the active drop pool: Windloft Perfection, Skybreaker's Bolt, Prayer for Endwinter, Wildfire Imperative. Existing equipment. Prior to July 15th, these set items will continue to function normally. This existing equipment is not meant to be a bullet point. It is meant to be above this here as a heading. Existing set items will become legacy equipment after the update. Attributes and magic affixes on legacy equipment will remain unchanged. So if you have set items that are pretty strong and you want to continue using that set, keep hold of it. To commemorate the first round of drop pool streamlining, all adventurers will receive 3 legendary crests via in-game mail. Dungeon set item distribution updates. To support the set item pool streamlining, dungeon set item drop tables have been updated. Some set item pieces have been reassigned to new dungeon locations, while other set items have been removed from the active drop pool as described above. Overall, set item drop rates remain unchanged, with fewer set item types completing within each dungeon loot pool. Adventurers should find it significantly easier to target and acquire the set items they're looking for. Equipment experience improvements. Enchanted magic blue, rare and yellow items dropped on Inferno 13 and higher difficulty will receive the following enhancements: significantly increased base attributes. I don't know the point in that. It can now be upgraded, but I don't really see the point in that. Legendary item attribute rule adjustments. For legendary gear of 2+2 and 3+2 quality dropped from Paragon 1500 or above, combat rating values will no longer be fixed when items are of the same level. Instead, combat rating will roll with a random range. After this change, the following outcomes are possible among items of the same item level. A 2+1 quality item may have a higher combat rating than a 2+2 quality item. A 2+2 quality item may have a higher combat rating than a 3+2 quality item. So basically, this is quite good for PvP. So it basically means if you're using a 2 and 1 quality item for PvP or a 2 and 2 quality item for PvP, it could potentially have higher combat rating than a 3 and 2 quality. Challenge dungeon modifiers. We're making some updates to challenge dungeon modifiers to improve play experience. Sacrificial power will no longer appear in challenge dungeons, thank God. This will be replaced with Desperate Might. Desperate Might player damage will increase by 7.5% for every 10% life lost. Okay, that's good. The 3 existing challenge dungeon modifiers have also been revised. I'm not going to read through them, but basically there's been some changes there. Optimizing clan and faction management. So this will be more for clan leaders, I believe. So several system optimizations have been introduced to reduce the management complexity for immortal factions and improve immortal leaders' quality of life. Clans or deal will now support automatic activation, allowing leaders and officers to configure event settings in advance. Oh, okay, so they can basically have them set up to open, so there isn't going to have to be someone to specifically open that, which will be better. Battleground improvements. We are adding the following quality of life improvements to Battleground. Direct Battleground access through the new party and PvP menu. Battleground-related Battle Pass quests now provide a quicker access to PvP activities. A PvP quest filter in the Battle Pass for easier navigation. Return your original location after leaving Battleground instead of teleporting to the Battleground NPC. Changes to Fabled Wisps. We're making changes to Fabled Wisps to help players progress through difficulties. I've read through that in the previous patch notes. So basically, the main thing here, low difficulty Fabled Wisps can be exchanged for the new difficulty Fabled Wisps as 7:1 ratio. Thank God, I know. Hey, Dagoth, welcome in. Hero's Journey reset. Hero's Journey chapters 1 to 6 will be reset and players will begin at chapter 1 again. So yeah, you can earn rewards from that. Obviously, you can get things like legendary crests. Only chapters 1 to 4 will be available at the onset. Chapters 5 to 6 will be released at a later date. Chaos Convoy Gift of Corvus selection button. We've added a dedicated button to the Chaos Convoy so that you can view which cards of Corvus you've already selected. And that is everything from the patch notes. So let's just close that. You hate Hero's Journey resetting. I kind of hate it, but I also kind of love it because then you can get the rewards again, which I like. I like being able to get the rewards a second time. Okay, let's just do one quick run around with Warlock before we go. Now, Lana, you asked about those wings. Let's see if we can find if someone is in game so I can show you them again. I'm just looking where they would be if there is someone in game. Maybe up at the training grounds. Oh, we're gonna run out of this in a second. Using quite a long time there. Look at that. See if there's someone in the training grounds. No. Now I don't know if I'm allowed to show you the cosmetic. Just having a look if there's someone in so that it's not me wearing it. But yeah, the new cosmetic for the Phantom market looks pretty cool. Oh, thank you so much, Coho. Thank you so much for the donation. I cannot see this. I cannot see this. Okay. Let me just save this build. Oh, thank you for the memberships. Thank you so much for donating the memberships. Let's save this build. And I'm going to leave these up on the screen. I'm going to show you these on the screen so that you guys can see. That's another reason why my character is weak. I don't have any charm. I don't think I have any. I don't have any charms to use. Okay. So yeah, we've looked at 2 builds today. I'll try and put the timestamps in the live so that if people want to go back and look, you can check out these builds that GZ has put together. This is obviously the speed. I keep forgetting I don't have remote armory. This is the speed build that we got on. Let's try it out again. Let's try this in a dungeon. Oh my gosh, I did not mean to hit my desk. I'm sorry, guys. That was probably really loud on the microphone. Let's go to Tundra this time. Let's do a Cavern of Echoes with this speed build and see what it's like. Thank you so much for the channel memberships. Let's go. You can see the demo screen. You can see the proper demo screen now because of this light background. Okay, let's go. We'll do a dungeon. Should we do a normal dungeon this time? Sorry guys, I think OBS disconnected for a moment. We're going to try a normal dungeon this time. And I've got to finish my stream within the next 20 minutes because Nacho has his medication that he needs. Okay, so we activate all the skills and then we activate this. Oh my gosh, look at this. Even in a dungeon. This is killing it. How awesome is that? What the hell though? Like Echoing Shade, they're just like standing there not even doing anything. Has anyone else noticed that? This entire live stream? Yeah, Big Mac. Warlock and Pterodactyl pretty much. It's not the one that I've got, that's my familiar, but yeah. Like, this is why I'm so sad that you didn't get to start at the beginning. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. So yeah, this is Warlock in action. Obviously, as I said, my DPS isn't crazy. I'm missing a charm, I'm missing runes. This is just the test server. So we're gonna, again, activate all these skills. For those that missed it at the start, this is one of GZ's builds. So huge shout out to Nabil for sharing this with me. This is a speed PVE build. And you can move with the primary attack as well, as I mentioned. This is just primary attack, not ultimate. Literally just using the primary attack. And you can walk with that. Let's activate all the skills. And did I not already kick that down? God damn it. We'll try this again in a moment. Okay, I'm just waiting for the skill cooldowns to go. Right, let's go. Look at this. How fun is this? As I said, I feel like if you had 2 pieces of Vitus, obviously I only have the Noosa active. I feel like having 2 pieces of Vitus with this could work really nicely. And this is going to be super fast for in the dungeons as well. Love it, look at this. So much fun. Now I don't know how good this is going to be against the boss. This is more for, obviously, Elder Rift's really nice. Open world, if you were just casually flying around open world, you could use this for that. And just stand on top of him. We might have to go through phases, though, with this boss, because obviously we're not dealing as much damage as we would with a DPS build. Just wait for my skills. I'm going to try not to die. Best thing here, though, is that you can potentially avoid those beams just by flying around. Just gonna fly through it all. Let's just use primary attack for a little bit so you can see that in action. There we go. Really, really nice. Leave the dungeon. I'm just going to pterodactyl around a little bit. Exactly, that's what it seems like. Oh, Chirag, look, you can use the little nacho emojis now. They never work for me when I try and do it from mobile anymore. They only work for me when I use OBS. But yeah, anyone that just grabbed a membership, you now have access to all of these little emojis. I'm going to just pop them in the chat so that you can see. So if you manage to grab a channel access, you now have access to all of these. Mainly nacho emojis. I need to make some more soon, and we'll add some more in. So yeah, that is Warlock. Let's try, should we just go back to Westmarch and we'll try a challenge rift? It's probably, I'll have a check. It might not be unlocked. It might be set to like level 1. So I might not be able to go through it. I mean, I could, but I don't have time to go through all of the levels. Let's have a little look. The stinky one, I know. The stinky one is amazing. The stinky nacho, like, it's like a little face of him being like, stinky. I think that one's great. Yeah, that's one of the newer nacho emojis that I made recently. The more channel memberships, the more emojis I can make. So every time I get more subs, I like go and check, because I want to make more nacho emojis. No, I wasn't going to do this. I was going to do a challenge rift. Let's see. We'll see. It might be. It's locked from level 1. I don't think we'll be able to do that. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. I mean, some of the Warlocks have done it. I think, I don't know who that is though. But yeah, you can see a lot of people cannot be bothered with doing the whole thing. We'll just claim the rewards. We got some hilts there. Whoop. I'll show you this in an Elder Rift as well. Hey, from Peru. Welcome in from Peru. That's awesome. It's always fun to know where people are actually watching from. Peru in the house. Why is this not working? Let me try again. There we go. So we'll do an Elder Rift. And then for the people that missed it, I will show that other build as well. I'll show you that other build that we tried out, because I know a few of you have joined a little bit later in the live. So we'll do, this is the speed build that GZ put together. So we're using his speed build first. I'll try and make a separate video for some of the stuff that I've shown on the live today. I'll try and like slimline some of these down into smaller videos. Yeah, huge thank you to GZ for sharing these with me. The whole point of the live today was just to give you guys some ideas on what the class looks like, the play style for it, the different options for it. There are lots of different options. I stupidly didn't save the build that I put together because I did a build all around summons. So you can make like full summon builds with Warlock if you want to. Or you can do things like this, which obviously aren't full summons. More damage. The only summon that you've got really is the pterodactyl, as you said. There we go. I think we had another rune drop just then. So that is the first build. So that's the speed build. Oh no, I don't want the Rift Guardian portal. Wrong one. Let's exit. You're guessing a lot of dot gems with this build, and it should work fine for rifts and dungeons. Honestly, with Warlock in general. So actually, I will show you that now. So Warlock is a class that needs high potency. So looking at secondaries, this is how it was set up when I logged into this account. Potency is really important with Warlock. Obviously, you've got a lot of burn skills. So I would say high potency builds are really important. So if you want to use gems alongside that will complement it. If you want to use, obviously, burn and poison, that would work really nicely with Warlock. So that's personally what I recommend doing with it, is going for, gems that are going to be dots, are going to apply dots, damage over time effects, and also make sure that you have high potency. So obviously, if you're currently playing Necromancer, Xeon, you could pretty much swap to Warlock quite easily, because you're going to have your stats, your secondary attributes in the right place, ready to do so. So that's what I'd recommend, yeah, looking at potency. Okay, let's swap to the other build.
Another tale to unravel. Caution is often.
So let's try Jeezy's first build. Now this one, obviously, as I mentioned, this is not a speed build. I just want to show you guys so you can see exactly what it looks like. Do you want me to try these at the do you want me to try these at the training ground on the dummy as well before I finish? I can do that. Should be an easy transition. Yeah, it should be a really easy transition if people playing Necro Modi. So again, with this build, it's similar to the other one. You kind of just activate all your skills, and then you run around just killing stuff. But the arms stay active. It might be a visual bug in this. The arms seem to stay active for a little bit longer than the skill is active. But as I mentioned, this is the demo build. So sometimes with the demo builds, the demo servers, things don't always work properly. Sometimes there's little visual bugs and stuff. It's so fun though. So this one, as you can see, it's not as fast, but this is more of a DPS build, GZ told me. This one is good for challenge rifts. Obviously, PvP builds are hard for any of us to come up with because we've got no way of testing them. You do obviously have the PvP training ground, the battleground training ground that you can use, but I find that can be really buggy, so I don't generally use it even in the normal game, let alone the test server. But this is quicker for taking the boss down, as you can see, super easy. And let's go and do a quick, I'll salvage this gear and then we'll do a quick DPS check. You have decent potency, you might try running a freeze warlock before they kill off the Endwinter set. Yeah, that could be fun. If you've got the Endwinter set saved, then yeah, it's worth trying that out. Potency and armor pen, yeah, should work quite nicely with both. Let's try. Northern Ireland in the house for Yogi, right? And I think I've got people here from all over actually. A lot of us UK folks on the stream today, which is good. So let's try this out at the training dummy. Now this might also be buggy because I know it was when we had a bit of an issue with this. We had a bit of an issue with the what's it called, with the training dummies when this first went live. And obviously I'm not the best at this because Warlock is new to me. This is the first time I've properly played it since I've had access to the test server. Not because I've not wanted to, but I've just had too much on. Try this again. And again, with the right gems, this doesn't really have the right gems on it, in my opinion. With the right legendary gems, this could be even better than it currently is. I am attacking, but nothing's happening. So ignore the damage. It's not all my attacks are hitting properly here. But as I said, with the demo builds, you do sometimes get this. But you've seen them in action. You've seen both these builds in action in the dungeon. You've seen it in Elder Rifts. I would show you challenge rifts if I didn't have to climb through all the ranks, but there's no point showing you like level 1 challenge rifts. But yeah, I'll have a video up later, either today or tomorrow, with all of the essences and skills. We've already looked at that, but it's obviously got a little bit more information because I've got some of the numbers. So I'll try and get that up later, either tomorrow or today, depends how quickly I can edit it. But I think we will end the live here. So I'm glad that I've been able to show you Warlock. It's been really fun to actually be able to share this with you exclusively. I think I might be the first person to stream it. I think some of the other guys are streaming it tonight. I have a feeling that Loref is going to stream it tonight, so definitely check him out. He's always really good with builds and stuff as well, and I'm interested to see what he's come up with. Huge thank you to Jeezy for sharing his Warlock builds with me. Really good to be able to actually try that out. And yeah, I'm glad to have actually been able to test Warlock out with a couple of really decent builds, because I've not been able to test my own ones. My voice, is it because, yeah, I've been on live for too long? I've been talking for like 2.5 hours. This is why I have to keep my live streams to a certain time, because I get to the point where I start losing my voice. Hey Nikki, you've just joined as we're leaving, but the live stream will be up on my channel. The live stream will be up for anyone that wants to see anything that they've missed. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun testing Warlock out with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions with it or anything like that. I've just realised I completely forgot to put the chat up, which is now up right at the end of the stream. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Any questions around Warlock, let me know and I'll try and answer them the best I can. And I might try and stream on this test server again later in the week if possible. So I'll possibly go live again on Wednesday afternoon, similar time to this, if anyone wants to check it out a little bit more. Or if you guys have any build ideas, between now and before Warlock launches, let me know. And I'll try and do another daytime live stream, and we can play some other builds together, test some more bits out. But for now, that is it from me. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really hope you found this helpful. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.